same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Robert, do you, how many board members were you meeting?
Rick Hoffbauer was getting off.
That's the only one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. For some reason we had it in our headers too.
Oh, no. Rick's been on for 26 years at the end of this month. So.
Julie was to be up it?
Pardon me?
Julie was due to get off. Is she
Well, Julie would get, I think we got the last go around. I think when John Carlson got off, technically I think he got off a year early. And Rick might have stayed on a year later.
Okay.
But Julie is staying on, but Rick is off. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Okay. Number 7, consider for approval master matrix resolution, which is our yearly resolution. Is that correct? And part of your contacting me about it, want to know if they should be considered as a non, so the usual resolution we pass. See if they want us to come to a meeting, don't they? Yeah, that's next week. So next week, the 9th, I think. Okay, Monday would be the. You should have Monday, isn't it? We don't have. I need a new calendar. Yes. The night of the 9th, 6:30.
What's the date?
The 9th of January.
Okay, what's on Wednesday?
That's what mine said.
7 o'clock?
6:30.
6:30. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I do have it at 7. Let me look at my email. So we action to allow the county attorney to settle the lawsuit.
Yeah, I'll just 6:30. There it is, very well. So charter bureau meeting. Oh. God, I hate this. I have to go back and all the time. Search. I guess it is 7 o'clock on the 9th. This was what? What's that? Okay. Did we have on this yet?
No.
Okay. So here's the resolution for master matrix.
Nope.
I'll make a motion to.
I stopped.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the construction evaluation for master matrix.
Just yours.
Also, we have a motion from Derby and a second from Jensel to approve the master matrix resolution. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same side. Motion carries. You have to stamp it.
No.
make a motion to okay accept the county holidays as presented.
Second.
Motion from Jeswell and a second from Spencer to approve the county holidays for calendar year 2019. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
That's what happens if you're trying to think
Motion
of two things at
carries.
the same time.
There's Scott. You're up.
I'm here. Let's see which one first. All right. Couple things to update. We got haul routes from NextEra for the repower project going on in Grantland and Forest Townships. So Blattner is their contractor for the project, and they'll be getting started here very shortly. They'll be working on intersection widening and driveway widening so they can get in the new parts, generator, and the blades are the biggest part of it. They'll also be moving around a lot of different cranes to do the work. So a lot of moving parts out there, but Blattner was the one that did, the contractor that installed the turbines in the first place, and Mark said they were great to work with, so we're optimistic that they'll take good care of the roads during the project, and we'll keep an eye out to make sure they do. Any questions on that one? So we're halfway through the fiscal year, so I thought we'll start with some updates on our budget. So 6 out of 12 months, we're 50% of the way through the year. Despite a November with quite a bit of ice and snow, we've had pretty good weather through December, and our plowing labor is about 12% or 20,000. So that's looking really strong here. Of course, we had possibly 4 months left, 4 or 5 months, to keep an eye on things. January, February, usually the worst. Our overall budget is at about 37%, which is good, but it doesn't tell the whole story. We have quite a bit of gravel crushing to pay for. We have 20% of that complete. The remainder to be done here as soon as the weather breaks.
What is our policy on ice removal from roads?
Our policy. So we have an ordinance, snow removal ordinance, as I think all other counties have, and it prescribes what our minimum is. It doesn't provide for a dry surface, so we just do the best we can within the framework of the ordinance. There's different strategies county to county, as we've seen. So,
Yep. Okay.
If you,
I just was curious.
yeah, the ordinance is in place to protect the county, and it's really difficult to spell out exactly what you want to do. But,
yep.
Yeah. We do have one box culvert that got installed that we haven't paid for yet. We're still working on some details with them about that, and then we have.
How many more on that? If somebody asked me that, how many more? What's our agenda for the next 5 years?
Agenda for the next 5 years. Well, we'll go through our budget and program here through the budget process, but we have probably 4 to 5 bridges to be replaced in each of the years going forward, and it cycles a little bit as we pay for things like gravel, which is a big year for other expenses. But that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Our proposed budget will have 4. We got 4 done last summer. We have.
How many do we got left?
How many left? We have, I think, somewhere around 50 timber bridges, and when those are replaced with box culverts or whatever structure, I hope that we'll have a more manageable system.
I was 45. Yeah.
We'll have other culverts that are,
60. Yeah.
over the years they've put in a lot of big metal pipes, and those don't last forever either. So I don't know.
Kudos on that.
Yeah, the guys did a great job through the 2000s and after that. But yeah, you're hoping to get 2 of those contracted bridge replacements done last fall, but they'll start in the spring. Those are funded 80% federal dollars, so that's money in and out that hasn't.
Where are those?
Where are they? One of them is northwest of the feed mill, about a mile, by Merle Robinson.
Really? That's a federal? Okay.
Well, it's not a federal route, but bridges off federal routes can be paid for that way. Yeah, as long as the traffic counts are high enough, and in that case it is. They're over 25 vehicles a day. And the other one is northeast of Thompson, 4 miles or so by Grace Cliff Branstead place there.
One by, yeah, those were supposed to have been done last year.
Well, they had the option to do it last fall and weren't able to get there.
For some reason, I would, at one point, we had started on the routes.
We approved some stuff.
Yeah, we have a contract with Rognus Brothers, and we approved that. So we have everything in place and ready to go. They just weren't able to fit in the workload, so they have a late start date of April 1st. And from that point, the days start ticking. So we expect
those were all bid through the DOT then.
Yeah. So add that to the however many we planned for. Plus, we'll have quite a few going on this summer too. So when bridges can be replaced with culverts, you can get a lot more done. Let's see. So because they're not plowing snow, we're able to keep the pup trailers moving and haul a lot of rocks. So I think they're pretty close in Buffalo, if not already, to being done there. They can move on to the next spot. So that's always a good sign for our budget. Not in the numbers, but in what they'll look like here in a few months, is if the rock's already sitting there.
So the 2 federal aid projects are both still going to box culverts or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. We typically, I'd say through the state, most of that federal funding goes to new bridges, but because we're on the upper end of so many streams and we can get away with culverts, they're cheaper. So we've elected to go that way. We actually don't, in our 5-year plan, we actually don't have any new bridges currently in the program. All the replacements will be culverts of some side, whether they're single or twin box culverts or pipes or whatever.
Wide machine.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah.
Anything else?
And then at the end of November, we had about $1.5 million fund balance. So things are looking all good all the way around for our department, I think, financially. So
Throw it back in the general fund.
and then, so let's see, the next thing I got on the agenda. Unless you guys have anything.
All right. We'll move on to consider for approval statement of completion, DD6, Plat 1 private crossing, Buffalo Township, Section 7.
So Jesse Jensen and his crew did the work on this a couple weeks ago with our supervision. Went in a couple days, looks good. We checked the elevation, it fits what we had set out for them, and they have a little bit of junk to clean up, whatever, but it looks good. Good project. So this is the statement that proves that it's done good by you guys, good by our office, and then it's something we'll put in the drainage file.
Now, is this paid directly by them?
Yes. Yeah. So he took care of all that. All we did was make sure that it got put in the way it needs to be put in, and it was the correct size.
Make a motion to approve the statement of completion for DD6 Lat 1 private crossing, Buffalo Center Township, Section 7.
Ditto.
Motion from Jensvold, a second from Stensrud to approve the statement of completion for the private crossing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Discuss rural recycling program.
I just wanted to bring it to attention again. We're in the new contract, so it'll be done
we only did a 1-year contract, so that's part of our budget discussion problem.
Yeah, so you were going to do something. So I just wanted to bring it up again.
I talked to a lot of counties, and yeah, that'd be great, but nobody really is stepping up and
Yeah,
wanting to jump over hoops.
right. So I don't know.
What's your thoughts on this rural recycling? Do we attempt to try to partner with some other counties?
I'm a very poor one to ask.
We did get it
I don't
down.
I don't want to say it for public consumption.
I believe that it'll go up though.
Yeah,
It's not going to go down any further.
yeah, they indicated they would.
It isn't a savings. Environmentally, it's not a savings. So, I don't know.
Can we not do it, and if a landowner wants to use it, they can call Waste Management and get it their own pickup and pay for it like we do our city garbage and stuff like that?
I would go with that, yeah.
I don't know.
I almost feel like we need to put it out there first to let
Well,
them
but we
know.
need to do it sooner than later though, because you're talking about budgets here soon.
You know,
So,
this is an explosive environmental issue. And I know I'm not on the right side of it, so, maybe we should discuss that when we discuss our public health. You know, on these forums. See what people want to do.
It's more of a budget, public forum,
Yeah. I don't know.
priorities, and
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it.
and I'm okay either way. I just,
Just what services do we want to pay?
Right.
right.
That's-
And I don't see, I send you guys that report that I get every month. I don't know that we're going up any than what we ever have. So is it just the same people using it? And then we're paying for a lot of people who don't? I don't know. So I just wanted it to
have we
be
ever
on,
got any information back on that contract that they quit paying on?
no.
Kelsey and I are working on it,
Mhm.
but they're not working with us very well.
Oh, sure.
Really? You know why?
Because they don't want to pay us.
Because
We
it's
don't have a
not
copy
worth
of
it.
the contract.
We sent them, so Kelsey and I, like I said, we've been talking to that Todd Hartman. And we sent him a copy of the original contract, and we sent him a copy of the updated contract that we would like to go into effect. And he says his legal team is working on it and has not responded. And when we talked to him about 3 months ago, he said he wanted this done by the first of the year. Well, it's not done. Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's all the discussion on
Yeah.
rural recycling. We did get a report from Jim. Right.
Is this an issue we want to make an issue of?
I mean, make an issue of, we mean,
I mean,
in the public.
discussion,
forum.
yeah. Discussion. Openly.
I guess I'd rather hear from the public whether they feel it's necessary to pay that.
That's up to you guys.
This one is at like 45,000,
And this comes out of which
rural basic.
basis, so the city people are not paying.
Right.
It's a good chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
How many,
Yes.
1,200
so
customers. Because we base that on landowners in Beacon, and Sue did a bunch, so we got a list of names. Whether they participate, we don't know.
yeah, do the math on that.
So,
Well, I do, but it's paid, I got a long driveway.
mhm.
And
I haven't had any complaints lately, so they must be doing okay, so that part's good. For a while there, we were getting
I
a
know
lot.
it took, what, 5 years?
right? So,
I don't use it.
You said 40,
That, like I say, I'm an anomaly, so.
45,000,
roughly, yeah.
1,200 potential residents.
Mhm.
They all use to be $40 a year.
That was 30,000. 13, a little over 30 when we got it lower.
That could be, I don't remember. We just
Last
paid
year,
8.
It went from like 36 or 37 down to
Mm-hmm.
30, a little over 30, I think, when we lowered the numbers.
Oh, yeah, so maybe it's down to 32,000. Because that seems like I just paid
Somewhere there.
8,000.
8,000?
Yeah.
You lower the numbers from 1,200 to 900.
But even that, you get 32 is still a good chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So, whatever you guys want to do, I just didn't want us to forget about it.
Right.
So,
If we could talk them back into giving us tipping fees, then, you know.
Yeah, I guess at this point I'm not full support of the recycling program.
I'm not either.
I'd like to hear more feedback.
As of right now, I'm not either, so.
It's almost easier for me to take a container into them to get rid of certain items.
and then does the landfill take recycling or no?
Mhm.
So we don't even need it. People can just take it to the landfill.
The probably bill you, they can charge you for it
But that would be,
in lieu of paying your taxes.
right. Right.
Now, back in the old days, we had, 60-some thousand every year coming in the tipping fees that covered it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only people paying for it are the users.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need a budget discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Drainage matters.
In talking to Rick Hopper, we had signed this DD2 Lat 14 ditch and made it into the drainage district, but he had the wrong starting point. So we signed it, but he revised it. So I just need your signatures again. Because he had the starting point originally here, and it's actually here.
Is this the one for Sue Smith? Or?
Yeah, yep.
So
Because I was asking for a list of
should he be signing
names,
this
and then
since he was the chair then?
that's what I would like.
Okay, so it doesn't matter who the chair.
No.
Okay. Okay.
So.
You're pretty serious today.
Huh?
You're pretty serious today.
Okay. Got a lot to do, so I'm thinking about what's back in there.
Everybody's still recovering from the big party.
So Rick Hopper was gonna check in and do that one, at least one of those
That should be,
3.5 surface drains on DD1 by Highway 69, where one crosses 69. This is on.
Oh, yeah. Up by D14, kind of DD14, up in that. No.
No, we're
Right
talking
on the
about
highway.
the beginning of DD1, Highway 69, where it crosses. There's a surface pipe for Matthews that started the whole thing. I mean, it was DD8 repaired, and then we reclassified it and kind of combined the two. For some reason, that pipe has slipped through the cracks and has never been replaced.
Oh.
And I talked to Rick about it, and he was going to check on it, but I haven't heard back.
I haven't heard from him.
So I don't know.
Yeah, the last I heard on that, because I kind of did them all, that they were coming back from the west, fixing them, all
Okay.
that, but,
And that's true. The last I heard, they were kind of starting in the west and coming back.
There's some pretty bad pipes hanging in the ditch there,
Mhm.
the outlet pipes
Mhm.
are bad.
Oh, yeah, and then the water, they had to wait for it to go down, and
I didn't know if this time of year they could have been doing those.
I don't know what they've got going on, so I haven't heard.
I've, got a blowout down the southwest of the golf course, county tile there, and that, Bill Trunkhill, he works for.
Brant,
Yeah, right, yeah. Is it okay, means they don't have to travel along in there, they only live like a mile from there?
Yeah.
Okay, we have them fix that one rather than have somebody come all the way from.
yeah,
Fort
they've
Lauderdale.
done quite a few things.
5,000 are what they to act on our own.
Well, no, this is just, I don't know what it'd be to have it repaired.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
isn't it 5,000? We can act on our own for 5,000, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
I think it was 5,000 we put the limit on for us to just see
Yeah.
go ahead and do that.
What I
but
do,
Brant is fine, because he's done some work and they seem to be reasonable.
and he does the golf course stuff, you know, he's gotten there in a timely fashion.
If they're reputable, just do it. Just
Yeah.
do the job.
To me, it just seems like it would cost less to move, you know, equipment a mile than it would to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, get a hold of them.
Have you heard any updates from Telus and D14?
No, they were working on it. Gary was in Friday, Monday, I'm not sure, one of those days, and they were just about getting to the end, so.
Okay, good. Maybe that'll solve all our problems in that area.
Okay,
Will you check on that? On the 5,000 limit? It would, to act on our own, just because tell the contractor, go ahead and do it. If it's 5,000 or less.
well, 10,000 was when I sent out a letter.
Or what, okay,
So 10,000 is when I want an estimate from,
all right.
But you're talking about one supervisor.
Yeah, just go ahead and do it.
yeah. I think we've kind of gotten away from that, and I've just had stuff get done, so
Okay.
my apologies.
All right.
So,
As long as there's a petition and it gets to Chris, that's
Right.
the important part.
What's that?
As long as there's a petition and it gets to Chris, that's the important part.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
because I don't like it when a bill comes in and then there's nothing to tie it to.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't like. So.
Because last couple of years, I had that need to,
Mhm.
I said, just go do it.
Yep. And then that's fine. And usually they write on there, Mike okayed it or Terry okayed it. I've had plenty of those. So.
All right.
Mhm.
Anything else on drainage?
No,
No, it's not there.
Consider for approval, reclassification of DD5, appoint an engineer.
This came up, Mike. There's some major slough-ins on DD5, the main ditch in lot 20 and 27. So what I did was I sent a letter that I want you guys to look at, that I sent to the approved contractors on our list to get an estimate to me by January 14th, because I have it on the agenda for the 15th, to clean out those areas and to let me know how much footage they think needs to be. So in doing, because of that, we should have reclassified 5 when we cleaned it out. So I thought, well, since we're going to do this, let's reclassify it now. So I hope that's okay with you. And that's how that got started.
I think we need to move forward on getting a drainage quote expert.
I don't know what that means. Or what you mean by that.
Like, you know, I don't know if Jerry Rugness would be, want to do it.
With him.
If, and I don't think Gary Helgeson is old enough yet, to where he would, you know, he's gonna give up his job. But we need an expert in drainage.
To do what
I
though?
think.
I mean, what are you getting at? For
To-
repairs or cleaning
We
or?
talked about this before.
You're talking about the position we were thinking about what,
Having Mark do
Mark,
a,
yeah, Mark
Yeah,
Johnson.
yeah, I don't care who it is.
Retired.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. It just, somebody that,
But for the time being, we've been utilizing Mark.
yeah,
Mhm. I think it's been going okay the way it's,
is it? Okay,
I think so.
all right.
I don't think anything's slipping through the cracks. Have you guys heard anything from landowners?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
And Chris does one heck of a job.
Oh, I know she does, yep.
So I don't see that like I said, we use Mark, we consult with the contractors, Chris takes care of most everything. I think it's going well. I don't have a,
She's a boy. She's a man.
No. If I could get out there and see this stuff, I know there's some drainage clerks that go out and actually.
Use my Ranger anytime
I
you
know,
want.
right? Maybe not this time of year, but
I don't see any.
that's the only thing that I worry about is sometimes that there's not somebody overseeing things.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. But Mark has gone out for me a few times, and then he sends us a bill,
That's great.
and
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately, he probably doesn't have the time that he would like to dedicate to it.
and that's okay. I mean, I'm okay with that.
In all candor, you could probably do it.
Well, not this time of year.
and the
No,
problem is, with one less person in my office, I
Yeah.
can't afford to have her out of the office.
And that's true.
I hear.
It's too much.
Like if it's like any of our construction projects, somebody's got to be checking on them every
Yeah.
day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that you can certify with all confidence that everything got put in correctly and all the tiles got connected. You wouldn't have any doubt.
Right,
But
Absolutely.
it's hard to pay somebody to do that too.
right.
You know, engineers, it's just a lot to add to it.
But you're right, your office does a great job.
Okay, so we need to
So,
move forward with reclassification on DD five, for the engineer for that. Are we okay with Jacobson Westergaard on that?
My motion.
I'll second. We got a motion from Stenzer and a second from Jensvold to approve the reclassification of DD five and appoint engineer Jacobson Westergaard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Chris, is that just to break it into the laterals and stuff like that? Just to,
yep, they'll have everything, so who all pays into the main ditch, and, yeah.
Consider for approval of letter to landowner in DD five lat 20 to repair work that has been done, that was done privately.
That came to my attention from another landowner that there's pictures in there that the landowner just dug his own trench. That's when I did have Mark go check, and he gave me his opinion on what needed to be done to fix it. And we're giving the landowner, whatever time, April 1st, I think, to get those two areas repaired. Otherwise, we'll get a contractor and send him a bill.
Where's this at?
Proposal in there. Did you say pipe needs to be put in?
One of the areas he thought riprap would be good, and one of the areas is surface drain. Yep.
You probably just said that, too.
No, I didn't. I just said what Mike proposed, or what Mark proposed.
Seems like I would remember.
I have the same problem, up, about 3 miles north of this. Same problem.
16 of Mount Valley.
Yeah.
So at the end of here.
Is that drainage district responsibility?
It's the landowner. That's why
Okay.
that's why the letter's going to the landowner
The
specifically
landowner.
to tell him what to do. If he doesn't have it done by April 1, then we'll get it done and send a bill.
Landlord did it on his own.
Yes.
And didn't do it properly.
Right. So that's what we're doing. So then I have it in my Outlook to make sure that to have Mark go check it back again. So that's what I did there.
Motion. You want to make a motion to approve the letter?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll second it.
Got a motion from Stenzer and a second from Jensvold to approve the letter to the landowner to repair work that was done privately on DD 5 lat 20. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
don't think so.
Move on to consider for approval invoice for CSS, from CSS.
We talked about this last week. I didn't know if you were ready to put it back on the agenda. You talked about waiting for Sue.
I still want to see their official result of their, and it's not gonna happen that we're gonna get accepted over in the Northwest region, so they made a decision that they do not want to upset Emmett County, or don't want Emmett County or whatever, because they would have to go with us if we go. So therefore, that is not gonna happen. And despite the fact that we've said that we would, Cassup County has mediated their financial obligations. And so my guess is that right now, we have 3 counties that can stand on their own until they're appointed to be somewhere. Whether they're trying to force us to stay where we're at, or force those people to take us over there, or what's going to happen.
What's feedback you can get as far as what's gonna happen to us?
I can't get an answer.
Really?
We had a meeting with Jan Megas, Northwood. Really couldn't get an answer out of her like they,
Well, she kind of laid it out what we need to do.
yeah,
We have to reflect that action.
yeah, I guess it's, and I guess what I didn't get an answer to is what she thought would happen.
Yeah, she's not going to give you
Yeah. As far as,
So how does that reflect on our invoice with CSS? Right now, do we have a vote? So nothing will change. I suppose if we paid our invoice, we'd have our vote back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
wouldn't matter. The vote would turn off saying anyway. Well, there might be one more time. Okay, on it. But, not enough nays. But,
The bad thing is, the way they took our last payment, we were paying our levy.
yeah,
They applied it towards the past debt for last year. So now it makes it look like our levy is due.
he doesn't call that a fund balance anymore. He's now on the last, agenda called it one-time spending money to start a bunch of programs. That money is there one time, if you start the program, there's gonna be, it isn't coming this year, but the next budget, the levy will have to be in the 40s to 50s to maintain it. The CSS, since I've been here, I think has gone from, the budget was like 12 or 14% was for, salaries, employees and stuff. I think it's almost 30%.
So last year's extra invoicing, how many dollars per capita did that end up being? We have our original levy,
3518,
and then
and then
they added it.
Ken Abrams figured that out once, and he figured that our effective levy was 53.
No way.
So it's kind of a
But it is
shyster
a fund
thing that
balance.
they're skirting the rules, the state code.
See, most other regions took their fund balance, lower their levies, use their fund balances. There's our region, choose that route.
Just for my own sake. How come we're not getting the state involved in this?
I
think it's somebody.
I've had people that are outside of
Those two numbers
CSS
together,
or separate.
what was the end of the year request?
posting the
You know,
372.
it just has to be said, right, that's,
Yeah.
the one that we're, it's not
19.
anything, we're just paranoid or. But what was last year?
And that's,
So they're saying
That's
still
my question.
42, 6,
if I
4,
been,
and we owe this
yeah,
thing.
super paranoid, or is there something to all this?
Oh, no. Okay, so they took what we
Can't
paid, we
understand
did
why
118.
on one of these
So they're
things.
saying
Yeah.
that we still owe these two
Can't
amounts
understand
for
why.
this fiscal year.
So we paid, try to figure out what the better is.
The 372, 451.
Right.
Yes. But they put on the budget.
So whatever's left to pay for last year's carry.
And it behooves us to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, but as a way,
They'll do that.
186.
They're saying this amount for this one. Mhm. It's 54.
The last meeting. Yeah, okay.
I think I made you copy, or you made copies of these for everybody.
I got this house that I just paid for stuff. March, last March. So they got $4 million for stuff. And then we said, let's go back to the Wild West. What was our population? So
10,631.
So according to this, the additional last year was 2160 per capita. So that brings us up to 49, or no, 56, yeah, almost 57. I mean, anytime you got a guy that throws a piece of paper out there that shows what you paid, you know, back in the levy was in the 80s, back in the 90s compared to the 35 you're paying now, it scares the heck out of the supervisors that don't know. Yeah. And without giving proper representation, that, and Jen Michaels did tell me this, and our levy would be in the hundreds right now if it weren't for Medicaid and private insurance for paying. He's gonna let that stand on its own to scare people. Saying that right there, I mean, until Ken Abrams called him on it, he was gonna get away with it. So,
What boggles my mind is, how come these other supervisors don't see it?
they do, some of them. They just don't like judges being in controversy. They just don't. Some of them see it, and some of them are benefit from it, so they don't care. That's what it is. They know there's nothing So, I mean, I'm shocked. Yeah. So, are we gonna action on this, or? I would suggest not paying it until
Yeah, definitely.
find out what direction we're going, and if we're gonna be on our own, we just as well try and keep as much of it as ourselves for our own use.
Yep.
Seat money.
Yep, I agree. 100%.
In our opinion, we paid for this year's levy, and we just been paying last year's extra.
Yes, yeah, no, the dollar amount is the same, it's just that who wants to write it different on a piece of paper.
We didn't feel like we needed to pay the extra $21.60 for last year per cap.
But we also, because of the legislation, do have to get ourselves on balance down, so there's a discussion we're gonna have to have as far as, what we're gonna levy if we end up being on our own, or what, to try and levy enough to spend the fund balance. Yeah, so.
Although one of in the legislature this year,
Trying to get their raise.
they're trying to make it no cap. So,
Oh, they're gonna go with no cap on fund balance again.
Is Bob behind that one then?
I don't know who's behind it, but it was one of the
He would,
ISAC legislation things that they're working on.
he would have been, lowering, cap, so he could spend it, he have to spend it.
But not as it's spent, he wants to raise the cap.
On the levies?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
and they're gonna make it easier for them to do it too. I mean, it's gonna, there's a property tax cash cow out here, they all want skewers.
I would venture to say that that's gonna be a challenge to get through before
I would hope, but there's a lot of pressure out there that there's, you know, and I'm not gonna deny that we have mental health issues, I just may disagree on how we need to take care of them, what the results. Yeah.
So do we want to action to not pay this for now, or just table it?
Just table it until we find out.
All right.
County claims.
I will make motions shortly.
This is the claims, not the payroll.
I'll make a motion to approve the county claims.
Well,
Or you didn't read it? Oh, all right. The good news is this is a short one.
I will second.
Motion from Paul, a second from Stetser to approve the county claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I hate to ask this because it shows my ignorance. Who's Bill Malton?
He's a jailer.
He's a jailer.
He used to be a jailer too, didn't he? Or
How long has he been?
He's been with the county for,
was there a gap there?
he went to dispatcher for a little bit
Oh, okay.
before we built the jail, but,
Yeah, I've seen it for a long time.
maybe 10 years, I
I've
don't know.
never asked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't see his name. I'm not sure, I couldn't put a face on it.
Sad.
So Friday, remember that it's, negotiations starting at 9 for all three of the unions.
I can't remember what usually transpires at first meeting.
And we've
We've already had the first meeting.
Yeah, I know, but okay.
This is where we sit
one
down with
coming
Mike
up.
Galloway and them and just hash it out. It's done.
So we probably averaged about, I guess 3% for courthouse rate raises. Six, 4, 2.
Bill, we can't talk about it now. We'll have a closed session on each of those.
Yep.
It's one thing when you're negotiating for a 1 year salary, it's another thing when you're going multi-year.
Yeah.
You don't have to go.
maybe I've asked this before, Carla, but how come on county health, some claims come in at hours and some came in at dollars?
Because some of them are, like Julie Sorensen is exempt, but like the nurses are hourly.
The heck is Lowell Overson doing in here?
Sue was out.
What's that?
Sue was out and.
Oh, okay.
Another employee that was out for a little bit,
That's right.
he was filling in. Took a lot of harassment.
Okay, make a motion. Approve the payroll.
I'll second it.
Got a motion from Stetser, and a second from Jensvold to approve the payroll claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, yes, that.